Hey guys, Brady here, and I am back once more for a time of fun. I don't know. So, Christmas is done, or it was done about a month ago, perhaps probably 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3 weeks. I can't count. So, as always, I am very late to the what I got for Christmas stuff, but I literally had to go to a Christmas party or get together last week, and that was the last batch of presents that I got. And it was all shirts, so you wouldn't know. You wouldn't be interested in shirts. Unless it would be this nice CCR shirt that I got for Christmas. Um, I also got like a Jimi Hendrix one as well, and a Weezer hoodie that I got from that get together. Also from that get together, I think I got a Def Leppard shirt, and a bunch more, along with Red Hot Chili Peppers. Christmas is done, so naturally I have to present the gifts. Now make note, no amiibos, because I think it's safe to say that my amiibo collecting days are kind of over, because let's face it, they're not releasing that many interesting amiibos. I mean, yes, you have the Smash ones, but who cares? But anyways, shall we dive into the first thing that you all should probably already care about? The games. I did not get a lot of games. I only got like five, or at least five boxed ones, that is. So, um, let's do it. Um, yes, let's do it. Okay, so the first game is one that I have been continuously asking for, Bayonetta 2. And it also comes with the download code for Bayonetta 1. Unfortunately for me, the download code, sorry, not the download code, I'm so dumb. The download code for this game, for Bayonetta 1, does not work. I have played this one. It was briefly tested by yours truly. It's good. It's very interesting. That's all I can say about it. And it's the Peggy version. So that means the English version is probably not real, or the ESRB rated version is probably hard to find, maybe? I wouldn't know. Because, frankly, I couldn't care. And the next game that we have on the list is a game that all you uh, anime people are very excited for, Persona 5 Royal. Now, this right here is the first Persona game that I've ever owned, on physical, that is. Not the first one that I played. On an emulator, I played the PSP remake of the first Persona, and it was good, but admittedly, I wanted a physical one. And sure enough, they were releasing this and 4 and 3. And they also have the arena stuff and scramblers, but those aren't real games. Those aren't real Persona titles. They could be good, and I could pick them up someday, but we got to go with the original stuff. If you like text-heavy stuff and RPG mechanics, you'll like Persona. That is all I will say for the time being. Um, and it's a very good game. I have tried it, or at least the prologue, the beginning of the game. And yes, it does have a different intro compared to the original, which is something that I unfortunately didn't know. Sorry, please don't hit me with a baseball bat. All right, so the next game is my first game that I got, I believe, from my parents. Um, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Now, this game I have been anticipating for quite a long while, not as much as something like, I don't know, Live Alive, which was my number one most anticipated game of 2022. You can go watch my game vlog on Live Alive versus Octopath Traveler, but this game is fun, I will admit. It plays very different compared to its um, far more successful first game, and but yeah, it's a good game is all I could say. And it could be long, could not be. Just remember this thing: Yeah. And you're probably gonna be like, "Oh, you think that's cursed, Brady?" No, I don't. I'm not some millennial. I'm an adult. Um, so next up on the list is something that um is a thing. So when I first started getting into Cat Icarus, I watched his Pitiful World of Pixar Games video, and not only did he ruin my childhood by talking crap about Rise of the Underminer, he also told me that the Cars video games are very good. This one in particular, Cars 3 Driven to Win. Now, you may recall that in my top 10 canceled games video back when I was on He-Man 1010, I mentioned Cars 3 Driven to Win while talking about Disney Infinity 4.0. And I remember saying clearly out loud, and then they went on to make Cars 3 Driven to Win. It sucked terribly. I don't think that anymore. This is exactly like Disney Infinity style car racing. Because, like in Disney Infinity, you could race, but it was through the eyes of you, the Imaginator. And it plays just like Disney Infinity's car mechanics would. And yeah, great multiplayer title too. If you can get friends to play it with you, that is, or friends that are fans of cars. You have to be a very specific kind of gamer to play that game. Um, and this one is not a gift from me, but rather a game that I bought with my money. The Life is Strange Arcadia Bay collection. I just started playing this, not too long ago. The first game, that is, and it's very deep. And you want to know something? Aside from Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, this was the remaster that I believe was worth the wait, but took a asininingly, that didn't make any sense, that took a crap ton of time to come out. And hey, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Remastered is probably not going to come out. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But this did on the PC and PS5 and 4 first, though. I'll give them credit for that. But the Switch version is what I wanted, so. Huh. And it did come with a download code for Before the Storm. That is what it's called, right? Hold on. Yeah, that's what it's called. Before the Storm. Or at least that's what I think it's called. So, next up, we should talk about a thing that I like to talk about a lot. The movies. Now, I got a lot of movies, that's for sure. Probably not all of them are in here, but that's fine, I guess. So the first one is Kiki's Delivery Service, which I have watched. I did watch on HBO Max. It's a great movie. Definitely one of Miyazaki's most prized treasures. I'm currently watching Princess Mononoke, by the way, as we speak. I'm almost about to finish it. That's the thing with these kinds of movies. I really can't get into a lot of anime cartoon shows unless you count Teen Titans, which I just got into this year, and I don't know if you'd count that. But this is good. I do like the Miyazaki Ghibli films. I love them a lot. Great stuff, is all I could say. The next one is, hey, guess what, guys? Spoilers. People die in this movie. Avengers Infinity War. Now, I've seen Endgame, and that was, if you're a high-class Marvel fan, you're like, Brady watched the Endgame before the fun times of Infinity War, before Thanos came to that. Listen, I don't watch films in order. Trust me, the first Marvel movie that I watched for an in full was Spider-Man Homecoming, and then Captain America Civil War, and then Captain Marvel, and then The Incredible Hulk, and then Endgame, and of course we had Guardians of the Galaxy, and I also saw No Way Home, which was great. And now I have this. Oh, and also I saw Iron Man, the first one, and that's as far as I would go. And Thor: Love and Thunder, yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I've said countless times I've never gotten into the Marvel movies, but I surprisingly have for some reason. I have no clue why, which is kind of scary in retrospect. But I am looking forward to watching this one if it wasn't at least 3 whole hours long. And Endgame was pretty long too. But Endgame caught my attention, and hopefully this will too. Um, Now this next one is apparently, according to my father, the greatest movie of all time, Tombstone. Now I see where he's coming from. It's definitely a much talked about film when bringing up the greatest movies ever made. That's totally okay. I just have to see for myself. So I can't really say anything about it. Is it good? Maybe yes, no, maybe. I don't know. It might be good. It has to be good. I think Kurt Russell's in it. Yeah, and anything with Kurt Russell, to me, is quality. The next one is an '80s classic, kind of. The Last Starfighter. Um, Now I've never seen this. I have heard that it's good, admittedly, but I've never seen it for myself. And I was thinking in the Christmas pile on Christmas morning, I was expecting to get the movies that I was asking for, like Avengers Infinity War. That's a movie that I asked for. And I saw this and I was like, "Wait, what's this doing in the pile?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a classic." So, okay, I'll give it a shot. I will give it a shot. And the next movie, yeah, let's show this next one, is a movie that got a lot of hate, and I understand that. I completely get that because it was outshined by another movie that came out probably 1 week later, Lightyear. Now, I will say Lightyear is good. It's confusing as all hell. I will say, like, Andy's favorite movie. No, probably not. His favorite movie is probably like what? I don't know. It can't be the Emoji Movie. That's not possible. But if I can say one thing about this, well, they were right. We do need to stop making Toy Story movies. This is a good movie, though. I will recommend it. It's good stuff, but it is very, very confusing. And the next one is, I also didn't expect this to be in my Christmas pile. Anybody ever heard of Demolition Man? I mean, I kind of heard of it due to the Nostalgia Critic review, but that's as far as I've heard it. You know, the Stallone Snipes movie. I've never seen it. I want to kind of see it. I kind of do want to see it. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Ha. And then we have the last movie, not the last DVD. We'll get to that in a bit. That I got for Christmas. It's another 2022 movie that I wanted to see, and my mom wanted to see, especially her. The League of Super Pets, or DC League of Super Pets. Or just Super Pets, because that's the only, like, visible highlighted text. Now, you may think that this is good, but it's not. I've never seen it. I can't say it's good or not. I mean, all I know is that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart played dogs, and that's it. It's not the stupidest thing they've ever played. Probably, in Jumanji, they played adventurers, I guess. And that's the last of the Blu-rays. But that's not the last DVD, because I got the Danny Phantom Complete Series. I have never seen this show. I heard 4 million things about it, 4 million good things especially. Like, this is Butch Hartman's best show. And this is one of the best Nickelodeon cartoons. I've watched it. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Great stuff, actually. And I also have the Jimmy Neutron collection as well, the complete series. I kind of think that this is a little bit better than Jimmy Neutron in most respects, and I'm not the hugest fan of Nickelodeon cartoons. That's not to say that I hate Nickelodeon cartoons. I like some cartoons from Nickelodeon, that's for sure, including this. And that's not to say that I'm not interested in Nickelodeon cartoons. I'm interested in Hey Arnold. Come on. Yeah, definitely a great show. I totally recommend that you check it out. It's by the wonderful folks at Shout Factory, who also manufacture the My Little Pony DVDs as well, as I've stated before. And they also distributed the Jimmy Neutron collection that I have. So yeah, that's fun. Now, you'd think that would be it, right? But you're wrong! So, just this year, 2022, last year, 2022, I had a really rough time. A really, really rough time. My family doesn't understand why, and that's fine. That's totally fine. They keep saying I have perfect years throughout the entire course of my life. And that can be true, but at the same time, probably not. And so, to cope with the disastrousness that was 2022, I listened to a crap ton of music. Like a godlike ton of music. It started with just Ninja Sex Party and Starbomb, and then it led to classic rock and 80s pop. And then for some inexplicable reason, it went to 2010s pop. I had a weird time, and also rap. I got into a lot of rap and 90s country. Yeah, go ahead and hate me. That's the next topic for my next video. Get with it. But so I got a record player. That's one thing that I was asking for. Or I wrote on the list CD player, but I got a record player. So naturally, I got a lot of records. Hooey, that's a lot of stuff. So let's start with the vinyls. Here we go. So this one is the Now That's What I Call Classic Rock from the Now That's What I Call Music series. You may know Now That's What I Call Music for producing records and CDs with pop songs. And while I will admit those CDs and collections are pretty decent, this one has all the classics, such as Another One Bites the Dust by Queen, and Bubba O'Reilly by The Who, and one of my personal favorites, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting by Elton John, and a lot of other stuff. All Right Now, Paradise by the Dashboard Light, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, Don't Bring Me Down, Boys Are Back in Town, Walk This Way, School's Out, all those classics. I Want You to Want Me, the live version, apparently. And yeah, that's good stuff. Alright, I gotta place this on the floor. I don't know how to place it. And speaking of classic rock, I got this. The Aerosmith Ultimate Collection, which has almost every classic song, except for I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Which I was like, come on, it's Aerosmith. You have to include. I mean, it's got Dream On, Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way, Come Together. Their cover of Come Together, which is a good cover. I personally prefer the Beatles version, but whatever. But no, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. That's weird. And no, it's not the Run DMC version of Walk This Way. It's the original. So any Run DMC fans, please put your torches down. Now, remember how I said I got into a lot of pop music? Well, of course I had to get a pop record. Harry Styles' Harry's House, the newest Harry Styles album, featuring hits such as It Was, and the first track of the album, Music for a Sushi Restaurant. That's not a great song, I will admit. The greenish fried rice, I could cook an egg on you. That's not a great song. It's a fine album opener, but as the first track, it's not great. Late Night Talking is pretty good, though. And, Harry Styles is the new hotness, and if we're gonna live in a Harry Styles world, I wouldn't be opposed to that, admittedly. And then, from my brother, of all people, speaking of the Beatles, I got Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Now, the thing is, the story here is that it was rumored that Paul died, but he didn't. He's still alive today. But at the time, it was very controversial, I presume. Look it up. I wouldn't tell you, because I'm not Todd in the Shadows. I don't know everything about music. And the picture here is all the wonderful boys, as per usual. And it's got some neat stuff on here. It's got the Sgt. Pepper song. Good stuff. And next up, I found this one This wasn't a gift to me. It was something once again, I spent with my own money. I went to Target, and not only did I spot um, "Thank You Next" by Ariana Grande, I spot I spotted this, "Lover" by Taylor Swift. Now, there was a weird time back in the 2010, like the late 2010s, where Taylor Swift was kind of having that weird period of music, the Look What You Made Me Do era, which was kind of an ugly era for her. But luckily, Lover kind of picked it up, kind of picked her back up off of her knees and started to make her like better, with stuff like "Cruel Summer" and "Me" featuring Panic at the Disco's very own Brendan Urie. Um, but yeah, that's an okay record. Now this one's a little beat up, but it's used, and it's pretty rare, I think. The Alabama album, it's country, so well, it's like old school country. But so it's like you'd think it'd be like Leonard Skinner country, but that's not country, that's rock. Come on. But it's a good record, I've heard. I haven't listened to it personally for myself. Because right when I got home from this record player thing, I kind of got sick. So I didn't get to listen to it at first, but I did eventually. Um, and another beat up one that I got from my great granddad, Eagles, "The Long Run." Um, Again, haven't listened to it for myself, so I'll just go ahead and put it down on the floor. Now, this next one is my first soundtrack album of all things, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 album. This includes stuff like Mr. Blue Sky, The Chain, Surrender, Wham Bam Shangalang. That's a good one. But it also includes the score as well. So yeah, if you want your classic fill, you can get the Electric Light Orchestra and Fleetwood Mac, but you can also get the original score from the Marvel Classic. Or classic in this sense, I don't know. And last but not least, of course, you have to have Thriller. Thriller. Hey, there's a fun AVGN throwback for you. Remember his video on Michael Jackson's Moonwalker? That was fun. But this one, apparently, it has been outshined by Bad, but I think this is a good album, admittedly. It's got "Wanna Be Starting Something" and "Beat It" and "Billie Jean," Thriller. Good stuff, good stuff. May Michael forever rest in peace. He's done a lot of horrible things. But anyways, that's not the only thing that I got music-wise. I got CDs. I got lots of CDs, baby. So, the first CD that I got, let's show this one first, is from my great Graham, who is a big fan of the Backstreet Boys, and I won't blame her. The Backstreet Boys are classic, they're cool. So she got me their Christmas album, and it's basically a bunch of covers of Christmas songs, like "White Christmas" and "Last Christmas" and "I'll Be Home for Christmas" and "Feliz Navidad." I don't know about you, but "Feliz Navidad" is kind of more annoying than "All I Want for Christmas Is You." Hot take! Or maybe not, I don't know. The next one is the Bon Jovi Greatest Hits Collection. Now, I love Bon Jovi. Good stuff. Highly recommend you check out their music. And it's all got the classics, "Living on a Prayer," "You Give Love a Bad Name," my personal favorite. "It's My Life," also pretty good. "Wanted Dead or Alive," "Bad Medicine," "Born to Be My Baby," "Blaze of Glory," "Runaway," all the good stuff. Good stuff indeed. That's just disc 1. The disc 2 has a lot of deep cuts and not as big hits, but I don't know, maybe. So, and then next we have an album, like an actual album, AC/DC's Back in Black. Now, in my opinion, this is the best AC/DC album, next to Dirty Deeds and Let There Be Rock. And Razor's Edge is pretty good too, I will say. But this is like the peak of their stuff. And of course, if you open inside, it has pictures of all the fun band members, including Angus and Brian and Cliff and Phil and Malcolm. They were great, and they're still making music, I think. Well, in 2020 they released an album, It wasn't great, but maybe we'll see something from them in the future. Probably, probably not. Now this next one you're gonna get excited for. It is the Journey Collection, the greatest hits, volumes 1 and 2. Now the first volume has all the good stuff, like Only the Young, Don't Stop Believing, Faithfully, Any Way You Want It, Separate Ways, my favorite Journey song, Separate Ways, Worlds Apart, and Open Arms, and all the good stuff, Wheel in the Sky, yeah. And then the greatest hits 2 has Stone in Love and Escape, but not that many notable ones. Like I said, with Bon Jovi, it's a bunch of deep cuts and not as huge hits. Now this next one can also make some people very excited, and especially me, the greatest hits of Def Leppard. Now Def Leppard is one of my favorite rock bands. From the old school, like hair rock of like the 80s. And you may remember some of these classics like Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Photograph, Animal, Rocket, Armageddon It, Rock of Ages. All great songs. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's a very great CD. A picture of all the boys with their backs towards the camera because they don't want to be looking you in the face. But whatever. Now this next one is my first pop album, my first pop CD, Adele's 25. In my opinion, her best album of all time, because it has the most hits. I mean, of course, you got Someone Like You and Rolling in the Deep and Set Fire to the Rain, but those are not on this CD. This one has Hello and When We Were Young and Water Under the Bridge and Send My Love to Your New Lover. Yeah, it's got all the stuff that you would expect from an Adele record. It's a good record. I'd check it out, or it's a good album. Good album. Why am I saying record? It's a CD. This next one is the Eagles, another classic rock band that you may remember. It has a lot of their classic songs, such as, but not limited to, Take It Easy, Desperado, Witchy Woman's pretty good, and Hotel California is, of course, on Volume 2 for some reason. Why is it not on Volume 1? I don't know. But hey, at the very least, we have One of These Nights on the first volume. That's also a pretty good jam, if you like bass. And then, last but not least, the last one that I got from Santa was none other than the Queen collection, Greatest Hits, Volumes 1 and 2. Now, the first one has a lot of stuff like Bohemian Rhapsody, Another One Bites the Dust, Killer Queen, Fat Bottom Girls, Bicycle Race, Don't Stop Me Now, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, and Flash. The Greatest of the Universe. We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions are also on at the very end. But the Greatest Hits, number 2, has Radio Gaga, and I Want It All, and I Want to Break Free, and The Show Must Go On, and of course, one of my favorites, Under Pressure, with David Bowie. Now, you'd think that'd be the end, but I had some money to spend. I got an Amazon gift card, so I spent my money on not Purple Rain by Prince. I wish I could, and it's pretty cheap. Maybe one day I'll invest in it. Birthday present, perhaps? Maybe. But I got these two, the Now That's What I Call Music 20th Anniversary 1 and 2. Now, it's got some weird songs on here, mostly pop hits, and recognizable ones, too, like Single Ladies for the first one, and Baby by Justin Bieber. I Got a Feeling by Black Eyed Peas is on here. That's a good one. And My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark is pretty okay. And Baby One More Time is pretty good, right? Yeah. Sexy Back's pretty good. Moves Like Jagger. Yeah, some stuff. But it's got stuff like, Stronger, What Doesn't Kill You, and Praying by Kesha. My least favorite Kesha song, in my opinion. It's whatever. And then Volume 2 has all the good stuff. It starts with Shake It Off, so you know it's good. Actually, you probably don't know it's good. Shake It Off's not that great of a song. In my opinion, you don't have to agree. You don't have to change your opinion to match mine. I have very bad taste in music, and even I don't like Shake It Off. Toxic by Britney Spears, Problem by Iggy Azalea featuring or Ariana Grande featuring Iggy Azalea. My personal Ariana Grande favorite my personal favorite song from her is what I'm trying to say. And it's also got Want to Want Me by Jason Derulo and Feel This Moment, which is also pretty good. And On the Floor, also pretty good. 2 Pitbull tracks in the same CD. He was big, dude. Don't diss. And it's also got Counting Stars by One Republic, one of my personal favorite indie rock songs, and Thunder by Imagine Dragons, one of my personal favorite ish Imagine Dragons songs. It's the best of the crap trilogy from, well, I can say whatever I want. It's the best of the shit trilogy from the Evolve album, you know, Believer. Yeah. But that's all the presents. Man, 30 minutes. Sheesh. And imagine how long the next video is going to be. I'm planning to make that one pretty long too. I've been making a lot of long videos. But anyways, that concludes our time with this video. So, I hope you enjoyed it. And see you guys next time for the top 10. It's a music related top 10, so maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll have some hot takes. Probably, yeah. Sayonara, peeps. Take care. Hope you're looking forward to the music content. Not music reviews, though. Bye.